So we're here for season 6, episode 7 with Rook. So can you give some background information about yourself, man?
Yeah. So, as far as I was born in Connecticut. I was born in Bridgeport Hospital, and then kind of moved around. New Haven, Milford. I went to high school in North Haven, and then pretty much right after that, I moved straight down to Florida for school. And then like in high school, I was like I was messing with cameras a little bit.
Nothing serious.
Yeah, like honestly, it was because it was like they had a film class, and I heard you just get to like watch movies and stuff, so it sounded like kind of easy. You know what I mean? I had started like messing with cameras for like dirt bikes and bike videos and skate videos and like shit like that. So I had already kind of like been messing with it a little, and then I moved down to Florida and went to film school and stuff. But
Where'd you go?
it's called Palm Beach Atlantic University.
Okay.
It's in West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So yeah, I bounced around Connecticut here and there. You know what I mean? And then I kept it kind of low key, like play basketball type shit. And then I just wanted to like get out of Connecticut. I just like
You said you didn't really listen to hip hop until like you were in the middle of high school, right?
Yeah. Probably like towards middle end of high school, I started like kind of listening to rap a little bit more. And I still wasn't even like, I was listening more so like to just like the hits and the party shit that was out. I wasn't really the I didn't like go into it yet or like even know, kind of like my parents were like, like went to church type shit. So I was like very like real. They were real strict on that end when I was younger.
Did you ever like want to rebel and listen out?
What's funny is like I was a good kid, to be honest. Like I was kind of just like, all right, y'all don't want me to listen to it, then whatever. Like I just like, so I would hear it through friends and stuff, but I wasn't like super like, oh, gotta get to it. You know what I mean? And then kind of like once high school hit was when I was like, nah, this shit kind of hot though. Wait,
who was the first person that you like really dove into?
I mean, I'd have to say Jay-Z. Like, I think I want to say some of the first like rap songs though that like I started hearing was like when Nelly was like popping. Like that was kind of some of the first stuff that I was like, oh, that shit fire. Wayne, obviously.
Yep.
But Jay was like the first one where I was like, wait, nah. I like went back and listened to like all his albums like, and then like listened to them over and over and over and over again. Like, and that was like when I really started like, all right. And then I started kind of like looking around from there.
That's cool. So when you first went down to Florida, you said you were going for a business, right?
Yeah, my father, he owns a painting business.
Okay.
So the plan was I was just gonna go down there and just like go to school for business and then like take over the business. Yeah.
That's dope. And then you like, what was the reason why you chose film instead?
So like I was saying, I was already like kind of into it a little bit. Like I had a camera and stuff. But like I think when I was in school, I had like you get like electives and shit. So I went to the film building to be like, hey, I'm thinking about taking a couple like film classes. I just didn't want to like waste my time and take the film classes, even though it was for fun.
Yeah.
I would have rather take something that was like it's for fun, but like I could still use it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, yo, this like I brought some of the videos that I had made in high school, and I was just like, yo,
biking ones.
Yeah, and like I think in high school they had us do like a little like short film like project.
Yeah.
Some like just for short, and so I had like a couple different types of things. I want to say once people found out I did videos, I had a camera. It would be film my birthday party or whatever, little random shit. So I had some little projects that I had put together, and I just brought it to the teacher or the professor rather to be like, hey, check it out. I just want to know if I'm on the right thing, or if my shit's completely whack, like I'll just put the camera away and just call it a day. But they were actually really like, yo, this is like really good. This is better than a lot of the shit that people come here to submit for film.
Yeah. So
they're like, you should really think about doing something with it.
They gave you some scholarships, right?
Yeah, and then they like threw some money. They like skipped me past they skipped me past like 3 of the introductory classes. So like right when I was a freshman, I was already in class with like sophomores and juniors. Yeah. They just kind of skipped me past, and then helped convince my parents to like that I was like talented.
Did they get on the phone with you?
I don't remember if they necessarily got on the phone with me, but they definitely like when my parents came to visit, they definitely had like a
meeting
meeting to be
he's
like, yeah,
actually good.
yeah, because you know my they were like very like skeptical, like,
Yeah.
yo, what are you gonna do with film? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's an easy thing to like go to school for it and it'd be easy, and then you get out and be like,
What am I gonna do?
yeah, you know. So they were just like worried about that. But then like once they kind of figured out that was what I wanted to do, they were cool.
And you still took business classes?
Yeah, I still minored in business.
Okay.
So
that's
yeah,
perfect.
so I was still like taking classes for it.
So talk about your origin of the name Rook. You said that it was from playing chess with your grandpa. So why is this so important to you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it necessarily. I think so. When I was in college, I came out with the song or whatever, but then I was rapping and stuff, and I just didn't have everything was just like my name, like my real name. So it was like, all right, I need like something, you know what I mean? And so I was like going through mad different names, and I just wanted something that was like simple and like easy, just clean.
One syllable.
Yeah, just something that was just like, yeah, it was just smooth. And so I had a bunch of like, we were just trying to X them off the list and see which ones were the best ones. But I want to say, I don't know, I must have just been like kind of like on a little like chess wave at the time. Like I was playing I must have either been playing against somebody or something. I don't know what like kind of sparked chess to like, make me go down that road. But I did play with my grandfather, and I just remember it kind of like him. Obviously the queen is like the number one player on the board for chess, and then like, but after that, it's kind of debatable. But the rook is like, a very, very important piece after that, and you usually save them till the end. And so it just kind of like once I heard, I'm like, yeah, rook, like it's dope, little castle shit. And so it kind of just like once I put it out there, people just started calling me it. So I was just like, all right. Once something sticks, it's just like, all right, cool.
You got to run with it.
Yeah. So I kind of just settled on it then and there, and then everybody just kind of called me.
And now you're playing chess with all these moves that you're making.
True, very true.
So when did you first start making music?
I'd say like
down in Florida.
Yeah, for sure. Like probably like 2010, I want to say, or something like that. It was weird because it was like everybody, like all my friends were rapping, so it was kind of like. It was always like, I'd write something for somebody or like I'd hop on a verse, but it wasn't like
serious.
Yeah, it was just like, it wasn't that. It was just, and I'd forget about it. I didn't really care, you know what I mean?
Not like you're pushing it.
But I think 2009, 10 was when I was kind of like starting to like make songs and like, putting them out and like, seeing if people liked them type thing. So yeah, it was when I was in college though, because I think it was just having just like I was kind of like more of a loner like in high school, and like in college I was more of like a social person. So just having people around me all the time and just like seeing people react to shit, it just kind of like I think gave me the juice I needed to like do it.
You said it right, the juice. It really like gave you that sauce.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh yeah, people fucking with this, like cool.
I can actually do this.
Yeah,
and it was like the party music.
The energy, yeah. It was like we were throwing parties, so. That's like when I was in college, I just got into like throwing parties, and naturally, the songs we would make for fun, like the ones that like there was one song that we had that like kids in the dorms and just like for whatever reason our group of friends just liked it, like just fucked with it, and so we started like cutting it on at parties, like honestly as a joke. Like the first time was just like, oh fuck, put the song on, everybody's drunk, and it's like all the kids that we party with, were like kids that we knew, so everybody kind of knew the song already from being in the dorm, and just like we were just kind of like that type of group of kids that like people kind of just always around. And so when it came on, like everybody started singing it, so it was just it was fun. And then we just started playing it at all the parties, and then what started happening was like we'd be at a party that we would throw, it might be 200 300 kids, and then we would go to like a bar or a club, but it would be all of us mobbing there. So then people started being like kind of drunk and stuff, and like trying to get the DJ to play the song like at
not
the
even
spot.
you, other people.
Yeah, and then like it came on one time, and like everybody started singing it. So it was just like the DJ was like, oh. So then he realized like, all right, if I play this, I could get them college kids to like, because we had a whole following of people, and then that's kind of like what led to me like getting signed. We were having a party, and some kid just like the song came on, and everybody's singing it, and this dude like just asking, yo, whose song is this? Like
I've never heard this before.
Yeah, like everybody's singing it, and I was like, yo, it's my shit. Like yeah. And then it was just kind of like he was like, yo, he gave me his number. I didn't really take it serious, but then obviously it ended up transpiring. But Yeah, I think it was just the energy. You know what I mean? That's always when the best shit gets made, when just like you got the energy, the natural.
The following too, the
Yeah,
people that actually care.
right. We already had people that were just like wanted to know what we were doing, you know, on the weekends. Like, yo, where you guys at? Like, what do you know? Da. So then it was just kind of a natural progression to like, you know, we just slipped a song in there.
What was your like craziest college memory,
Um.
or at least one of them?
Yeah. Damn. I mean, we had a lot. Like, we had just, I mean, a lot of just like crazy party stories. I won't get into that, but I think like I like okay. So one dope one was like this was like towards the end of my like I think I was like a junior or senior. They were doing our school like formal,
Yep.
and at this time like I had already kind of like started like making music, so people knew, you know, like I was making music. Nah, this is all around the same time. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, because the label came to our college like formal to like come like watch, because so the college set me up like to do a show at the formal, because they knew everybody at the school already, you know, kind of knew it. Yeah. So but it was dope because it was just a memory, because they in West Palm, downtown West Palm Beach, where our school is, they have like this really upscale Aston Martin dealership. But they had this like all glass, you know, ceiling to floor like showroom that like when you're downtown, it's just like a very memorable or like notable thing down there, because you just see all the Aston Martins in there. And the school got them to like clear out all the cars, and we did our formal and the show like inside the dealership. So it was just sick, because it was like, you know, it was just like in an Aston Martin dealership. We had a stage set up, and there's probably like 800 people there, and people was all singing the song and shit. So it was just like, that was like a moment for me where I was like, oh, a dope shit. Yeah, like this, okay, we could probably make something happen.
Yeah.
And then the label, that was, I think, what really convinced them to like,
okay, this kid is serious.
Yeah, like, all right, he's got something going. And that was without them, you know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. You're doing that on your own.
Yeah.
And then they gave you they leased out a house, right? And
so like they basically they pulled up on me. Like I had a little valet parking job at the time, and they like pulled up and were just like, yo, you know, we want to have a meeting with you, all this shit, So, you know, they copped a house. They put me in the house, they put my cousin in the house. One of the dudes from the label stayed in the house, and then the master bedroom was like the studio. So they built it all out, soundproofed out. You know, it was like a walk-in closet. They put the mic and everything, and then we just started rocking.
Just working.
Yeah.
That's where you recorded Miami 15th?
Yeah. I was just there, you know, that was pretty much my schedule every day. I would just wake up, hit the pool, and then just go into the studio and just record all day, like into the night. And, you know, I started getting more popular in the area too. So like artists would come pull up. You know, people from my college, 'cause I just got out of school, so people from my college would just come pull up to the house and just be there. While, you know, roll up, making music. So it was a cool vibe. It was dope for me just to be like, to me it was all new. Like I just was like, you know, I had no idea what being an artist was about. So
it was a great learning experience.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good and bad. Yeah, for sure.
And then you grew out of it, and then that's when you decided to come back home.
Yeah, things got to a point where it was just like I kind of wanted more control, and I just realized I was bringing so much to the table that I felt like, you know, I could if I could find the right resources, I could make it happen with like just not having to like be attached or like have somebody else tell me how it was gonna happen. And so I just kind of like bailed on the situation. I kind of just, you know, told them like, yo, you know, I'm gonna go, you know, back home for a little bit. You know, we're gonna regroup, you know, boom, and then we'll come back and we'll get shit going. And I just like packed my shit and just like left.
How could you terminate the papers? Like, what was the process?
Oh, once I got back up home, I mean, I had you know, a lawyer help me with it, but it wasn't too bad because of the fact that there was a lot of things they owed me in the contract, and I was willing to be like, yo, I don't want, you know, any of that. I just want to be like done and, you know, and just break ties and everything, just be, you know, I could do my thing and whatever. And so once they kind of like looked at it, I had a lot of ground to stand on to be like, if you don't want to do that, then cool, then I'll take X, Y, Z, the things, you know what I mean? So they were cool with just, you know, breaking it off and everything just being cool. But then I was back in Connecticut. So that's why that was like probably the roughest point, you know, of everything. Because it was like, it was like the worst, because it was just like people in Connecticut thought I was signed to a record label living the life in Florida. And then it was like, now I'm back in Connecticut with just like nothing, you know what I mean? And it was winter when I moved back, so it
Ooh.
was like the year we just got like a
Dead
crazy
vibes.
blizzard, and I was just like, you know, just doing a lot of like, oh man, I gotta like, you know, when you just hit that
Introspection,
point where you're
yeah.
just like, fuck, I gotta figure this out, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it was just a
Like-
lot of game planning for the first like 6 to 8 months, just
Mhm.
like trying to just get my shit together on a personal level, but then also
The production
figure
company,
out,
too.
yeah, because I knew I wanted to, at that phase, I was like, I knew I wanted to be able to like do what I wanted to do,
Mhm.
but something that made money to fund being able to do my music, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so obviously video, I was already doing video for artists in Florida too to make some side money. So I was just like, you know, I had people in Connecticut that, you know, I was like, I'm pretty sure I could, you know, make some shit happen.
Mhm.
And so that was kind of my goal, was like, cause with, you know, I just wanted to own my own shit so I could have the flexibility to do and
You're your own
move.
boss.
Yeah, and just move around how I needed to.
Mhm.
And so yeah, that was just like, yeah, it was just like figuring it out. Like, all right, I gotta borrow a camera from this, you know, and just start shooting videos and just kind of hit the ground running with it, you know.
What equipment did you start out with?
The first camera, the first like initial thing I got, I think, I bought a Canon 5D Mark III, and I
Mhm.
bought a iMac, and that was like my starter
Do you
package.
still have those?
Nah. No, yeah, the iMac I have. The Canon I actually sold to a kid that works for me now.
Okay, cool.
Marquise.
How many people
he
do you
work.
got working for you?
So altogether in the building, I believe there's like 15 people.
awesome.
Yeah. So I have a business partner, you
Mhm.
know, and he handles the app and the
Yeah.
the web and that
And
end
that's
of it.
donation?
Yeah. Yeah, and so I'm it's a, you know, it's Donation, and then we have a media company where we do like a lot of corporate videos and stuff
Is
like that.
Kaleidodope?
So no, Kaleidodope is actually my production company.
Okay.
And that's more just like straight music videos and
Mhm.
stuff that, you know, I direct.
Yep.
The Donation is, you know, it's an app, but it's also has a media side to it.
Okay.
So we do like restaurant commercials, corporate videos, stuff like that. I didn't want to really like mix them. I just,
Yeah.
you know, it's
So what does the app do?
so it's a real time local discovery app. So basically, wherever you're at, you know, in wherever,
Mhm.
if you don't know the area, or even if you do know the area, it's just something where it's real time information from all the businesses in
Mhm.
the area, so you can see, you know, happy hours where there's live music, where they have food specials, where there might be clothing on sale,
Okay.
all things like that. And it's not like a static website, it's an actual app that just like refreshes every
Yeah.
second basically, and it's just constantly grabbing information and showing you kind of what's going on,
That's awesome.
you know, in your area. So it's cool if you're, you know, you're on business and you're visiting somewhere,
Mhm.
you don't know, you know, what's going
You're
on,
in a
or
random town and
yeah,
you
or
need
you're
to-
just, even if you're in Connecticut and you're like, yo, I want to know where to get a good sushi roll or some shit, you know what I mean, or a good sandwich. Like, you know, it has like reviews and it has like things where people can like take pictures, and
That's awesome.
yeah, so it's dope, man, and it's just starting to like really, you know, take off.
Has it, the app released yet, or is it
Yeah,
still in
it's
production?
on Android and iPhone and everything,
Oh, that's
so you
perfect.
can
I'ma
download it.
download that app.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yep, it's just getting rocking. We getting funded by the state,
Oh, that's sweet, bro.
as well as some other investors and stuff. So yeah, it's spent a lot of time in the back end, like, you know, getting it built, because it's like
Yeah.
you're building like a Facebook, you know what I mean? So it's like the
Exactly.
complexity of it is like beyond even my.
That's why you have your other guy. doing
Yeah,
it.
So Chaz is the guy.
Chaz,
Yeah,
okay.
and so he's my business partner with that, and so he handles that,
Mhm.
you know, that side of it.
That's so sweet. I'm actually going for computer science and cybersecurity at
Oh,
school.
sick. Yeah, you
so-
should come by the office. It's in Milford.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I'll
should
stop
come
by
pull up.
sometime because
Oh yeah.
that shit's so interesting to me. How
We have developers that are in France, that are in Colorado, that
people
are
are
in
nice at coding, bro. I don't even know how. Like,
them dudes. When I go by their screens, I'm like, should look like the Matrix.
Yeah,
Like,
dead
I
ass.
don't, you know, I do videos.
damn, bro. So talk about how hectic the behind the scenes are for these video shoots.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, you know, it's just, you just never know, you know, what you're getting into. You know, you just never know. So
Yeah.
obviously, initially, things are always hectic when it comes to video shoots. It's just like the bigger the shoots get, it's
Mhm.
still just as hectic, but now it's like there's just more on the line because you're like dealing with a bigger budget, you're dealing with more people watching you. You know, when it was just me and an artist, if the model didn't show up, it was kind of like, all right, let's figure this out. Or like,
Yeah.
oh, the cops kicked us out of here. All right, let's just go here. You know what I mean? But when you have, you know, the last shoot we just did in LA with Disney was like, we had 20 extras. We had Disney staff there. We had the artist management there. We had, you know, people from the people that we pulled the permits with, like they were there making sure we were like, so, you know, it's just like you have a lot just going on. So when something goes wrong, it's just like heightened because it's like, oh shit, all these people are watching. Like you know what I mean?
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, you know, you just got to keep it together. But it just be crazy. Like even I was telling this story to somebody, but the Annoyed shoot we did for Blame It on Jay-Z, we were trying to find like a sewer setting, like an underground like sewer, like some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles type shit. You know what I mean? Like smoke coming from the grates type shit. And we couldn't find anything for the life of us. And like we found this spot underneath the Sikorsky Bridge in Stratford. And if you go underneath the bridge where the workers go, there's like outlets up there, but it just looks like that. It looks exactly like a underground like sewer. You know what I mean? And so we're like, all right, bet. So we go there in the morning. We set up lights, a fog machine. We're like, you know, we're just doing our whole shit. And Annoyed, I'm texting Annoyed, like he's like, all right, I'm about to pull up, boom, boom, boom. So he parks, and then he's like, yo, I see like some cops walking around over there, like by where you're telling me to go. He's like, should I go over there? And I'm like, I don't. So we're like up in this thing, and I peek over and I see this like cops, like you know, walking like on their walk. He's like, I don't know, I don't see anybody. So I'm like, it was me and Ray, and like we're up there, we're like, oh fuck. So we're like, all right, maybe they'll just, you know, they'll walk away. And he's like, yo, I just seen more cops go over there. So I was like, oh damn. So all of a sudden we're hearing them like trying to get up to like where we're at, so we know they're like coming up there. So we're like, oh man.
They're for you know that.
Yeah. So now I'm like, so in my head I'm like, all right, you know, we're probably trespassing or something, which we get all the time. You know, it's like $100 ticket. Cool. So they like the first cop, he like gets up there, and like I'm like acting like I'm like, you know, doing a light, or like I was just trying to act like busy.
Yeah.
And he like comes around the corner and he's like, hey. I was like, oh hey, what's going on? He's like, well, what are you guys doing up here? And I'm like, oh, and he's like walking closer as he's saying it, and like as he's getting closer, he's like, you know, I'm like, yeah, we're doing it, and he just grabs, he throws me down on the ground, you know, like starts cuffing me. Yeah, I was like, and he's like, what the fuck are you guys doing up here? Like, this is blah, blah, blah. He just starts going off in this whole thing. It's like, starts searching all the gear, you know, like, has us both on the, me and Ray probably on the ground for like 45 minutes cuffed, like, in like the mud and shit. I'm like, oh man. So then, you know, as they start breaking it down for me, so what happened was, I guess there was a guy. To get to this area, you take like a walking trail, and then you just like kind of veer off and you go up under the bridge. So I guess there was a guy that was walking on the trail. He called the cops, and we're like, yo, we just seen two guys go up in the bridge with these long black bags. They had hoodies on. Like, you know, we see smoke coming out from the thing because we had a fog machine. Yeah. And so, you know, it's right next to a government building. Sikorsky, you know, they make helicopters for the government. So they were just they were thinking the most, you know, like they're thinking like cameras, bombs, like what the fuck are they doing up there? Like, so they came in like guns blazing, you know what I mean? Like they actually, it was funny because once they did, they made a call to Homeland Security, and they were like, yo, we didn't have to, they were going to come there and like grab us up and like take us somewhere else to interview us.
Yeah, not just the cops.
So I was like, yeah, so the cops came, once they figured out obviously what was going on, you know, but Annoyed stayed in the car. And but you know, it sucked because we had to shut the whole shit down. We had to break everything down. We didn't get the scene.
Didn't get arrested though, right?
Nah, they took pictures of us. They did background checks on us, like right there on the spot. Yeah. And they ended up giving us like just tickets or whatever. And then they let it. Yeah, they gave us which was ironic because there was actually no trespassing signs there. Yeah. So I was like, yo, there's not even. But then I was like, you know what? Let me just.
I'm not gonna say anything. We don't want to escalate it anymore.
Yeah. So but yeah, that was just like. But yeah, it's just shit. You know, you see the video at the end, and it's like. It looks dope, but you just don't see that, you know, the artist showing up late or somebody not showing up or the location isn't available or you know, it's just like there's just stuff that just happens. I tell Ray all the time, the first thing I'm like, all right, just be ready for like everything to go wrong. So when something goes right, it's dope. You know what I mean? But like usually just mad shit goes awry just for whatever reason. It's just like the nature of film.
I can only imagine.
It's just kind of something I'm used to at this point.
Yeah. and you're just constantly going with the flow. It's like
Yeah, you just have to be able to be like, okay, cool, that's not happening. All right, we're gonna do this. You know what I mean? Because
Plan Bs.
yeah, it's just like you're relying, even when you're paying people, you're just relying on so many other elements to come together that you just like, and there's just shit that happens. Like we've had, the lead actress get sick and she just can't film, but it's like, yo, like we have 20 people on set. This shit is costing us 10 grand for the day. Like, I know you're sick, but
come on,
damn, you know what I mean? So you just never know. Like, and then, you might have a perfectly good day planned out, and then the artist shows up 4 hours late, and now you have to reevaluate and like
redo everything.
come up with a whole new, something. I've had to come up with a whole concept like on set that day. Like I've been planning out this concept for months, had the treatment to do, and now I just have to come up with something right now. Cause it's just like the artist is late, this didn't work, and then it's, so.
And
it's crazy, man.
To be able to do that.
Yeah, they don't care. They're just like, yo, we still want a dope video, and it's like, okay, give me 10. Like, let's roll up, and I'm gonna figure this out. But, yeah, it'd be crazy, man. Crazy shit.
That's not
no matter what level, in my head, I'm like, oh no, once I start working with bigger artists, like it's gonna be, it just gets crazier.
Because their schedules are more hectic than others.
Well, yeah, and they just want they're more now where it's just like, all right, cool, fly to Canada. We want to shoot the video in 2 days. Here's the money, boom, and then it's like, oh, okay, and then you just got to start,
Your mind has to start going.
Yeah, you just got to start making shit happen. So it gets crazy, man. But it's fun. That's the best part about it to me. Like that's why I'm made for that because I enjoy it.
It's an adventure.
Yeah, as crazy as it is, like that's what I want to do. So it's just fun for me.
That's dope, bro. And then you started rebranding your music. So how long was the hiatus?
Like I was always making music and putting it out here and there, but I wasn't really taking it serious. But I'd say from like 2013 to 16 was kind of like I was pretty quiet. This point too, I was just going through a whole life, just my mental, that drive from like Florida to Connecticut was like a big drive for me because I was just like,
alone?
Yeah, and like it was just, I'm just like the whole time just like, what the fuck am I gonna do? You know what I mean? And I, and through that time too was like kind of when I started taking the time to like go back and and like listen to like Nas and Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and Eminem and like and just like just kind of like get into hip hop more as a whole, like what it was really about. And that was kind of too where my music started taking a turn where it was less about the partying and like I was really trying to like get better at rapping and like talk about, just more different types of topics and just do different things. So it was like an experimental phase for that while because I was just making a lot of songs, not necessarily with the intention to like put them out, but just to like try different stuff, To
expand on your craft.
Yeah, just to get better and just to learn more about, like as I started moving more, like I started getting into rooms with people where I was like, damn, I feel like an idiot. Like I should know this stuff, you know what I mean? And so it just like, and then it just started interesting me more as I was like, wow, this is like really what the hip hop like culture and the music and just everything is about. Like I just started learning more. So it was cool. It was good. And I'm still doing that to this day because I'm like behind the curve, but that phase specifically, I was like, because I was working a job, so I just had headphones in all day. I would just pick albums and just
let it play through.
Yeah, just rock. You know what I mean? Just let them play over and over and over, and then I kind of, just kind of developed my, style.
Flow,
yeah,
I like that. Can you give some memories from the Far Away video and the Like That video? Both, I think, 2016 or with us.
Yeah. That was like Far Away was like my first like coming back out type shit. Far Away video was fun as hell, man. My boys have this like crazy ass like
where was that?
That was in Glastonbury.
Really?
Yeah, they have this like crazy ass boat that they built. And like I had been on it for like 2-3 years, before that video because I just go on and film and like just go on it because it was crazy to me. Like it was like a club on the river. And then I was like, bro, you guys gotta let me do my video like on that boat. And they're of course like, hell yeah. So that was just like a crazy ass like fun day. It was
with all your friends.
Yeah, because it was like we just squatted up, had mad coolers, mad alcohol, just went on the boat, played the song, and like that like to kind of like started my initial like fan base in Connecticut, because
Mhm.
that was when people really were like, oh wow,
He's
like a
actually
lot of people
nice.
knew I did videos, but they didn't know I did music. So that was like my first time. Like, oh, this is dope. So it was just fun, and like that was a lot of different days because I had a plan for it, but I didn't really know. So we were just setting shit up. We crashed a drone twice filming that video.
Really.
Yeah, but we got the footage,
In the
so it was
water
like
or
nah, on land, like in somebody's yard. Like it was
a mess.
yeah. But we just like compiled it all together into like this Frankenstein of a video. So it like worked out. Like that was a lot easier. Like that was just actually did that all in my office.
Yeah.
We set up the whole set and everything. We built it in my office. Squires shot that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah, he came in. He was mad. He came off tour, so he was mad dead. And he was trying to nap and shit. I'm like, yo, fucking get your ass together, man. We
Time to
gotta
work.
shoot this shit. Yeah. So that one was pretty chill. Like there wasn't anything too crazy with that one. That song is just dope because that's like the song we always do last on tour, and it just goes off like just crazy.
People fuck with that.
Yeah, it just like always goes crazy. That's usually the song I like crowd surf to and shit.
I bet that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, worrisome, I guess, but fun.
Yeah.
Once you land, you're like, oh, okay. Whew.
But when you're up in the air,
Yeah, you
you're
just
like,
never know.
okay, let's see.
It's funny, the first couple times I did, I went in forward because I was like, nah, I'm not going to just like fall
Yeah.
on my back, God forbid. So I just would always land forward, like, and then people would like flip me over.
You're like looking at them like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, yo, what up?
Thanks for listening to my music.
Yeah, good looks. And then I started jumping in with chains and stuff, and I would just be giving it to people as they were like, so it was funny. It was good though.
That's awesome. And then you had a couple of remix videos. There was 4 a.m., Fake Love, and What They Want. Which one was your favorite?
I gotta stop saying that too. Some girl told me, she's like, yo, you always say before you answer a question. I would say What They Want. Probably.
Where was that?
That was in Bridgeport at the
Okay.
Bluefish.
Mhm.
I just thought it was cool. My boy, he did all of the he runs all the maintenance there.
Mhm.
And so I was like, yo, do you think we could get like on the field to do something? He was like, yeah. He just let me in one Saturday. They were playing the song like over the speakers in the stadium.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So it was just dope. We were just all hanging
that
out
minor
for the
leagues?
day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like the New Haven Ravens, from back in the day. But I believe they're gonna tear it down.
Really?
Yeah, so it was just sick to like get a video there.
Yeah, it's always going to be solidified in your career now.
Yeah, it was just cool, you know what I mean? Just to like nobody ever did it, even that was from like I was born in Bridgeport and my mother worked in Bridgeport for the city and stuff, so I was always in Bridgeport, but like
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider myself like, born and raised
Yeah.
from Bridgeport. So, but it was just cool because it was like I had an artist that was like really, really from Bridgeport come with me for the day, and he's on the song. So it was just a fun day, like, cause it was just cool, just like be there, and it just came
And
out
it's
sick.
just you guys.
Yeah, it was just like dope. Like nobody else gets to do this, so I always like doing shit like that.
That's sweet, bro. So we're going into moving pictures and Shoot to Kill. You talked about how moving pictures was more with the people that you directed for, and then Shoot to Kill was for Rook yourself. So talk about that a little.
Yeah, I think, as an artist, for me, it was like, all right, what can I bring to the game that's different? Or like, that's the first thing you always got to ask yourself. Like, all right, what am I doing that nobody else is doing? Or what's my angle? No pun intended. You know what I mean? So like, how am I going to, so I always wanted, for me, I'm like, all right, if I could be a dope director and an artist, nobody's really, in that lane.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool for me. So with like, I wanted to have a project where it was like all these people that I'm working with shooting videos, I just hit them up for a verse and put that kind of all together because it's natural. It wasn't like I'm like reaching, like I can just easily hit them and just be like, hey, yo, do a verse. They already like my music, so it just kind of all seemed to make sense. And so moving pictures was kind of like a play on words where it's like pictures that are moving are obviously film, you know what I mean? And then moving pictures, like how you would say, like, I'm moving.
dope.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it was like the hustle of it. So I just thought it was a cool concept to like put it together, and it just kind of helped my brand, like people to understand kind of what I do a little bit more. And then Shoot to Kill was kind of more like just locking in with one producer and just making music. Yeah, no features. I did one feature, my boy M Easy from Jersey, but
That was on the second to last song, right?
yeah, In and Out. But that one was more just like me being able to just like go in. We did that whole project in like probably a week or 2 weeks, maybe.
Cool.
We just would like lock in. He would make the beat. I'd be right there. I'd make the song. You know, boom. And it's like, all right, cool.
Do you like that
Next
better? Where you sit down and the producer makes the beat in front of you?
Yeah. He was like, I want to say I maybe done that once or twice, but like he was the first producer that was like, nah, this is how I want to do it. And I'm like, all right, because I'm not a producer, so I don't really know, you know, but I know melodies and stuff. So it actually, there was a couple times where I'd be like, oh, nah, use this, or like, nah, I think that's dope. And then it turned out to be something cool. So it was cool to like, you know, kind of go through, you know, do that. And now that's like, how I prefer to work. Because getting beats is always hard because it's just, you just never know the situation with the producer. You can't really adjust anything. So it's cool for them just to like cook it up right there.
And it's like you're working together. It's more of a creative process.
Yeah, and the way I work, I record, I don't necessarily like sit down and listen to the beat over and over again and like write it out. For me, if like while he's making the beat, once he kind of settles in on what it's starting to sound like, I'm already starting to like come up with like, you know, a hook idea, or so by the time he kind of has the beat like finished, I already have like
the hook, the
kind of something ready to like, all right, cool, and then I can just like start recording. I like to just like make it like right there in the moment, you know, just like whatever the vibe is there, like just make the song. And then if I gotta come back and add a verse, like that's kind of, I'm like notorious for like not finishing it, like I'll like add a hook and a verse and then just leave it, or like, you know, add a verse or you know, but I can always like kind of tap back into that vibe. At least it's the most important part is like, all right, where was I at, you know,
and trying to get that energy back. That was always
I could get back into it, but like I definitely need to hear, like that's why I always try to at least lay something down immediately, so like I can, you know, if I hear what I was doing, then I can like pick it back up.
Interesting. So can you talk about the evolution from moving pictures to shoot to kill? What changed and what did you learn?
I would say I think just natural, you know, growth of just like working with a different producer, working on music. I think too, you know, still just coming into my own style, you know, of like what do I want my music to sound like, what do I want to talk about. Like I think just naturally, you know, just that kind of progressing to just different experiences, different things. Just so I mean, I would say the biggest thing I learned though is definitely how to work with a producer, like in the studio with like a producer that actually makes it right there. That was the, you know, my biggest like learning experience with that, because that showed me like, all right, cool, I think this is the way I would want to make music. So I think that was the biggest thing. I mean, style wise, it was just you kind of hear it's more melodic, it's more, you know, that's more like my kind of bread and butter. So
you got more into your pocket, your niche.
Yeah. It just kind of helped me find my pocket a little bit more. I think that was the biggest thing.
I like that. So we're talking about this, the video shoot rituals in an ideal situation where you get time to prepare. What would your routine be? Never, right? We never get ideal, Ray.
He said an ideal situation. I was like, well, let me stop you there. Now, I mean, ideally, it's tough to say, but I would say like the process begins. It's different, right? So when we're working directly with an artist that maybe just like doesn't have a budget, or it's just like a, you know, a local artist that we fuck with, that we want to work with, it's a lot simpler. You know, it's kind of like, all right, what's the vibe of the record? Do you have any ideas? All right, no. All right, cool. I'm going to come up with some ideas. And then from there, you know, it's kind of like we just go through our resources and figure out like, all right, what can we kind of maneuver and make happen for the, you know, within the bounds of, you know, what we're doing. And then, you know, it's just more about like, all right, this is the treatment. We set it, you know, we set up the dates to shoot, and we kind of go from there. When it's like more work like through the labels or like you know, a PR company or something like that, then it gets a little more complex, because, you know, they'll be like, hey, you know, this is the artist, this is the song, this is the budget, submit us a treatment. And then like, you know, I'll come up with something, I'll submit the treatment, and then if they like the treatment, you know, now it's basically on us, you know, me and my producer, to like make it all happen. So now it's like, now we got to find a leopard, and we have to find a house that, you know, we got to find a red carpet, we got to find a convertible, you know. And so he runs around and starts handling, he knows what I'm looking for, or he'll constantly ask me, yo, what do you think about this girl? What do you think about this car? You know, like, and I'll give him like, you know, that.
Yes or no.
Yeah. And then I'm basically working on like, you know, because on these bigger shoots, you know, I don't shoot. you know, we hire a whole crew.
And
so
you
and I just direct. They bring out all the gear.
Mhm.
I tell them like, all right, this is what we're gonna need, you know, because I know everything that we need, but it's impossible for me to do it. So you know, we got a lighting guy, a DP, a grip, you know, art director. You know, we bring on all these people, and we kind of just will manage the team at that point.
Yep.
But it just gets complex with scheduling because you got to schedule the artist. You got to, like I said, you know, the labels got to know and approve of everything that's going on. So from there, it just becomes kind of mayhem until, you know, it gets done.
Product.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
So it gets hectic, you know, but it's like I said, it's just the fun of it, you know, because you know you're working towards making something super dope. That's
Timeless.
and that's gonna it inspires me too when I know, like with the Say video I was showing you, like I know there's energy there, like I know people want to see it, so that's what like I edited that video in like 2 days a day, you know what I mean? Because I want it to get put out. I want people to see it.
Bro. I saw you guys have the shoot, and I was like, all right, come on.
Yeah. So that's the projects I like doing. Like, you know, it's once you the further you get like in your craft and like what you do, like you only want to work on things that you're like full energy is towards. Because what you start to realize is like that's really more important than like making money or doing anything. Is like when I put a video out, it's way more important that like anybody who sees it is like, yo, who the hell shot this shit? Like this shit is fire. You know what I mean? Like that's the most important part, because that's what's gonna get you people reaching out to you and wanting to work with you, especially as you start getting into bigger artists. You know, now other labels and other artists are seeing it, and so it's like it's way more important to like make the dopest possible shit, you know. And so I really only want to work on projects where it's like my full attention and energy is like put into it,
not half-assed.
Yeah, because it's just like tough, because then it's just like it just becomes a burden almost to work on it. Even if you're making money, it's like it doesn't matter. At least for me, I'm at the point where it's like the money is cool, but it's like, you know, I want to like put out something.
Care about it.
Yeah, I want to put out something where the full energy is there from you and from me, you know.
Your project is the baby. It's your baby. It's like
you
work on like.
And now, granted, I might be working on 3 at once, but like, you know, it's
still full attention when you get to that point. All right, I'm editing this video. Let me put my
right, and that's why I don't hold projects. Like that was kind of one of the things that actually like got me into the industry, was like, if I shoot something, you're gonna get it in like a week, tops. Like sometimes I've sent people stuff and like the next day, and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, but it's just, you know, it makes a note in their head like, oh, okay, cool. Because our artists are the same way. I'm an artist, you know, so I get it. Like,
you want it
when you shoot it, you want to put it out. Like you know, you don't want to rush it by any means, but you want to put it out. You don't want to wait 3 months, you know what I mean, for your video to come out. Your fans kind of are like almost forgot about it. So you want to put it out when it's like still,
right timing.
So yeah.
Interesting. So talk about touring with Webby. What was your favorite memory so far?
It was funny. I just was with Webby yesterday. We were eating at a diner. We were just talking about this. I think Pittsburgh was probably like, if you talk to anybody on the tour, that was like, we all talk about it a lot because there was so many shows, but like there's like a top like 3 or 4. But like Pittsburgh was like epic because we caught a flat on the way to the show, and Webby, we were all sitting around like, yeah, so what are we gonna do? And like Webby just started trucking it, and he walked like 2 miles to like this gas station and like filled up a gas tank, and walked back and like filled us up with gas to like get us to where we needed to go. Oh no, we didn't catch a flat, my bad. We ran out of gas.
Okay,
and so he filled us up with gas. We didn't have the right thing to get the gas thing it was just like, it was a whole thing. So it ended up making us late, super late for the show. We didn't get to sound check. None of us got to go to the hotel and shower and change. So we're like been in this van. We've been in this van for like, 8-10 hours driving. And now it's like, we pulled up to the venue and we just see this like crazy line. So we usually pull up when nobody's there. So now we're excited because it's like, oh shit, it's mad people. But now we have to like hop out of the van and like we're trying to grab our suitcases out of the trailer and like grab our clothes, and like all the fans are just like, they're like, oh my god, what up, yo? And trying to talk to us and shit. We're like, oh, what up? Like I'm like, oh, I smell like and that night like there was no openers. Usually on the tour, it'll be like a couple people from that city, and then I'll go on, then Annoyed, and then Webb, or sometimes there'll be somebody else riding with us, Armin or whatever, or Lo-Fi, and then Brody Fresh went.
Yeah, Brody was there.
Yeah, so that night it was nobody. It was just me and Noid and Webb. And like,
So you had no time to prepare. You just were
yeah, it
going
was
on.
no sound check. It was no nothing. And it was just like, we went up there, we changed. And then like, I can always tell like, you know, my DJ goes out 1st and he's the host of the tour. So I'm like backstage and I can always tell what type of show it's going to be by like the first couple things he says. And, you know, when he gets the reaction, and he said the first shot, I forget, you know, well, yeah, y'all ready for the raw thoughts? And it was like, like, I was like, oh, damn. Like, okay. And that's what starts to like bring you to life. And then we just like murdered the show. Like,
yeah. Best performance, you think?
I don't know if it was my best performance, but it was just like the vibe, how the day went, and then going to the show and them giving us all that energy of them like singing the words and just like being lit the whole time. And there was no like you said, there was no runway into it. It was just like boom, I came right out and we just started going. So it was just it was just crazy. Like that show will forever, like if you talk to anybody from the tour, that show was just like
Solidified.
The way it happened, yeah, it was just like damn. But then there was definitely like a few other like. There was a lot of fire shows, but that one specifically was like a big one for everybody.
As you started going along the tours, did the people start recognizing you more and more?
Yeah, that was cool. It was funny. One of the shows, I forgot which one it was. I want to say it was Maine, which was like the end of the first run. Some kid came up to me, and he was like, "Yo, what songs are you doing tonight?" And I'm like, he thought I was Webby.
Yeah.
That happened to me a few times where people thought I was Webby, because I'll have like my raw thoughts on with a hood and just be like low before the, like as we're like trying to find the groom. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, and he was like, are you doing chilling? Like, are you doing that? And he started saying my songs. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing these. Like, and I was like, yeah, what songs you want me to do? And he was like, oh, dude, you got to do, whatever. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I got you. So we threw it in the set. And like that started happening. I was like, oh, okay, dope. And then
probably a great feeling.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then like as the run started getting, going more, like people would like be asking for me at the meet and greets, like, and a couple fans came to me with like clothing that they made with my name on it. So I'm like, oh shit, dope. Webby's fans are fire, like they're very just like supportive, and like they're just like, if you say put your hands up, they'll put their hands up, like that type of crowd.
Good energy.
Yeah, and they're just like hype. Like if you go to a Webby show, you don't see no phones out, you don't see nothing. Like they're watching the stage, singing the words. So it was cool as they started to like embrace me, because me and Webb are like totally different style wise, taste wise, what we like, what type of music we're into. Like he'll like hate Drake, like I love Drake, you know what I mean? So I was always worried, like I don't know if his fans are
gonna accept.
Yeah, because I'm like on the auto tune. I can rap my ass off, but I'm more like to do the melodic shit too.
Not like Annoyed and Webb, where they're just sitting there spitting.
Yeah, and so it's just like I could do that, but like it's not necessarily like my preference, for my music. So to see them like embrace me and stuff, it was cool. Like I think having me on the tour, it gave them like another element of the show where like we bring like more of the party vibes. Stuff for the girls.
Great way to open up too.
Yeah, it's just like a real like fun, because you're still getting good music and I'm rapping. It's not like I'm on some mumble shit, but so you're kind of getting a nice, a nice entrance to the show. We bring like a real fun. We throw out beach balls, water guns. We're doing all type of stuff, so it's fun.
Now let's go into memories from videos that you shot. We're gonna start out with Bada Bing's theme with Smoke DZA.
Bada Bing's theme. That was fun. Oh yeah, okay, I gotta go in for that. We got Smoke to come to Connecticut, which was a miracle in and of itself, right? Like he's from Harlem, and he's just like, he's just very like go with the flow type of dude. So, and that's like my boy, one of the first people that ever started fucking with me. But even to this day, if I'm like, yo, can you be here on Tuesday? Like, yeah. And then like, like I have to send Ray to like, Ray, go pick him up. Have some bud, and like go get him. So we got him to come to Connecticut, for the shoot, which was like when he pulled up, I was like, holy shit. So it was fun. We went around Connecticut for the day. I had it all lined up. We got to this one part where like if you see in the video, he like walks from this corner store into like a lounge basically, and like I always like that in like mobster movies and stuff where they go right from the business like right into the little back lounge, but like there wasn't. It was a corner store and a lounge next to each other, but there was a wall. So I was like, yo, we need to like put a hole in this wall because like I want him to walk through this shit. So like, they were like, there used to be a door here, but like, it's all sheetrocked over.
Yeah.
So like, if you give me $200, I'll just demo this whole shit and build put a doorway right now. I'm like, done.
Just handed.
So this like, gave him the 200, and this dude just started going to town, like tearing the wall. He put he tore out the sheetrock, so there was already an existing doorway. So there was a doorway, and then he just tore all the sheetrock out, and we just shot. So it was sick. Yeah.
The shit people would do for you too.
Yeah. I was like, hey man, come on, we can make this happen, So it was fun. That was a fun day though. Shout out to Smoke.
Next one, we got Chris Webby with both Raw Thoughts and Raw Thoughts 2.
Raw Thoughts was funny. Stick Up was I think the first thing I did for Webby, but Raw Thoughts, we had no idea that was gonna end up, Well, he knew it was gonna be big, but he was like, yo, I made this song. It's a little crazy. I'm kind of going at everybody, but like, this was right around the time. Excuse me. He recorded it and he sent it to me, and like 2 days later, Eminem came out with that freestyle about Trump.
Yeah, the one where it was like no beat or anything.
Yeah, he's like in the parking garage. Yeah. And so he's like, fuck, like, because he didn't put his shit out yet. So he's like, damn, I wonder if that's the direction he's going, like, with the album. Like, he's like, we got to get this shit out, like, now. And so I'm like, all right, what do you want to do? And so he's like, yo, can we shoot it tomorrow? So I'm like, I guess, yeah. So we just started being ready, started putting shit together, and we shot it. We were in this warehouse, but like I wanted lighting. This was like one of my first, like, I knew it was gonna be a big video, so I'm like, I don't want it to look like shit either. So I was like, I want to get lighting and I want to get all this stuff. And so we had to like lug this like generator into this warehouse and like plug in the lights and the smoke machine, and it was cold. And but we did it. I edited it in like, a week or whatever, and just bam, and then that shit just went crazy. Yeah, like people just started going nuts with that shit. So that was fun, man, because that was just like, it all happened so fast. We shot it, edited it, boom, and just put it out. And I like doing videos like that. And then it just went nuts after that.
Did he have the second one planned out by then?
Yeah, I think by then it was, he already knew, kind of like, all right, I want to do another one. And then that one was a little bit more, we had an idea. We kind of had already the theme from Raw Thoughts once. We kind of just kept in that same pocket. We shot part of it in, what was that, in Waterbury? I think
that on the cliff or whatever?
Yeah, I forgot what that spot is called. Holy Land. Yeah. We shot it there. I think there's a couple other people that did videos there too. But yeah, it just fit with the theme of it.
That was dope. And then how about 2001?
That was epic. That was probably like our favorite. Well, at least mine, probably my favorite one. Yeah, it was him and Annoyed. When he showed me the song before Annoyed got on it, he played it for me like months before it ever came out, and I was like, I want to do that one. Like, that one is fire. So he's like, yeah. I was like, yo, it's fire. And so, like, he hit me. He's like, yo, a couple other people said that 2001. I'm like, yes, bro, please. So he sent me the song with Annoyed on it. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. Yeah. I was just like, yo, he went crazy. And so I was just like, we just started coming up with ideas. And, like, it's basically like in the beginning, he's picking up, like, the 5 elements of hip-hop.
Okay.
So he picks up like some b-boys, he picks up graffiti artists, he picks up some rappers, he goes through the whole, we want to like include that in there. And then they basically all crash this stuck up house party that was kind of like it's like what you think of when you think of Connecticut. Yeah. Like, so we were kind of, and it tells his story a little in the beginning, about him being in the private school and all that. So, that video, I mean, it came out fire. That video was more so impactful to us because it was a lot of people from Connecticut came together in that video, and that was like the biggest thing for us was like there was people from Hartford and like Bridgeport and everywhere, but like also a lot of people I felt like knew Webby and Annoyed, but like they didn't get to like really like chill with them and vibe with them and see that they were like regular people. People just knew Chris Webby and they're like, maybe they liked his music, maybe they didn't. They didn't really know much about him. They knew he was big, but like, so this was like a chance because my DJ Dave, Zombie, he's part of Party Gods. Right? Yeah. And so they're like really big in like the underground, just like party scene.
They've been killing it.
Yeah. Shit, been killing it too for like years. Yeah. So I knew I wanted to like make that connection because it was like all the party kids, the underground kids, and then like the industry of Connecticut, you know, Webby, Annoyed, Pace, like all those people were there. It's DJ Santo, and it just like all became this like, and the vibe at the house was just like something that like
Amazing.
you couldn't explain. Yeah, it was just like people were just smoking, dancing, listening to music. We were shooting this big video in Connecticut that like people don't usually do that, you know, because he put up a budget. So we had the Red, we had a crew, so it was just like people were just like, whoa, like this is some
This
shit.
is serious.
Yeah, and it was just lit. Then the cops came. In the middle, yo, you got to figure we were in Torrington, Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
Throwing this like, we thought there was gonna be 50 people, like 120 people showed up, and Dave was just like, "My bad, you said, you know." So
You wanted it lit.
this neighborhood, like we looked outside, and it was just cars everywhere. Like you could tell, you know, what I mean, this isn't the type of neighborhood where that's going down. So the cops, they said they got called like right at like 7 o'clock, but they couldn't actually come do anything till 10. When the noise ordinance happened. So luckily we had already got through most of the video because I knew the cops were going to come.
Yeah.
But at this point, it was like a part, you know, like it was just like lit. And the cops came and they were just like, what the hell? Because they're seeing the lights and like they did a full search of the house. Like, because they just didn't believe what was going on. And so I was just like, look, bro, like, we have one scene. If you look at the ending where like the staircase scene where everybody's jumping around and shit, I'm like, we have this one scene that like I have to get for this video. Like, I was like, if you can just give me like 30 to 40 minutes, like let me shoot this shit, and I'll make sure everybody leaves. And they were like, all right. They're like, we're gonna wait outside, and as long as everybody starts leaving, like we're good. So I'm like, all right. So Ray gets on the fucking loudspeakers, like, look, this is the deal. Pack on the stairs. We're gonna get this shot, and then you know we gotta be out. And that's what we did. And then it all worked out.
That's so cool.
Yeah, like we wrapped and everybody went home, but it was just like after that, everybody just like I think saw a little glimpse of like, oh wow, there's like a scene and industry here in Connecticut, like there's some shit happening. That if you
definitely was a catalyst.
Yeah, like if you talk to Snow's dancing in that video.
I heard about that. Yeah.
She's dancing in that video, and that being on that set is like what inspired her to start doing music.
Really?
So it was like she's always been a dope person, creative in general. So she had it in her. I think just seeing that and like, wow, like she said that's what kind of made her be like, I gotta start like, I could do this, you know, and like, so it was cool just to like, it was just
be a part of it.
Yeah, it was just a cool energy that like started a whole wave of like, you know, just Connecticut shit going on.
Connecticut culture.
Led to the tour eventually, so it was cool.
Did Dave end up coming on the tour with you guys?
Yeah, he hosted the whole tour. He's my DJ on tour.
Oh, okay.
And then he hosted the whole. He got like 3 shows in, and like Dave is just like the type of person like he's just gonna have a bottle. He's just gonna be like talking to people, and you know just
very sociable.
Yeah, just like that's just how he is. So we did the first show, and I'm like, yo, there's nothing going on in between. It's like I go on, I get off. You know, there might be a DJ, there might just be house music. People are just chilling, and then like, you know, another artist, and then there's like a gap. So I'm like we need to like
spice it up.
Yeah, so like, you know, me and Dave just started freestyling it. Like he would go on and be like, all right, we need 2 people to come on stage. Like, and he would be like, we're gonna ask you Webby trivia, and then he would like give them a like VIP thing, or he would do a chug thing, or he would just do fun shit for the fans in between. He would just be talking and
That's
stuff.
That's what you need at shows.
And so then it became like a full, you know, tour. Like you're kind of getting an experience the whole way through. There was no downtime. And then after that, you know, Webb was just like, yo, you should just host the tour. So then he just became like the host of the whole tour. So it works because he's my DJ and we set it off. So it's like he goes on, he says his little spiel, introduces the tour, plays some music, and then brings me out, and then it's like then you're getting into the tour. So it was cool. Yeah. So now he's been rocking with us ever since.
Bruh, that's so awesome.
It's funny because when I called him, I knew I wanted to bring him on the tour. I was just trying to figure out a way to finagle it because you don't have enough. You know, you're in a van. You know, so seats are limited, and like there's got to be a real reason for you to be there. And so when Webb loves Dave from the 2001 video, that's where he met him.
Yeah.
And so he was just like, yo, it'd be sick to bring Dave on the tour. And I was like, just talking out of my ass. I was like, yeah, Dave could just DJ for me. Like, I need a DJ anyway. I was like, he could DJ for me, you know, da-da-da. He's like, yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah, tell him yes. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I hit Dave. I'm like, yo, I got you on the tour. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, but you got a DJ. He's like, I don't DJ. Like, I was like, oh, we got to find a laptop. We're going to, like, here's my song. You know, to learn this shit, man. And so he had, like, a couple months, but he figured it out. Just started DJing. So it worked out.
That's awesome, man. So speaking about annoyed, how about we talked about blame it on on Jay-Z, but how
Yeah.
about Bomb?
Bomb was fun. That was the first time I got to go to LA.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never been to LA. I had been dying to go. I
And
just
that was
didn't.
on tour?
No, that was
Okay.
separate. Yeah, I always wanted to go, obviously, but I didn't want to go just to go. Like I wanted to go with a purpose, like
Yeah.
have a gig
A
there.
reason.
Yeah. And so yeah, Noid, his like people hit me up, was like, yo, we're trying to knock this video out. He's gonna go do LA Leakers.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, I might as well shoot a video.
While you're out
We
there.
had some other shit lined up, and so we just like we were there for like a week,
Mm-hmm.
and we just like freestyled it basically. We just like bounced around. It was my first time seeing the textures and everything in Cali, so I was just like, real inspired. Like, yeah, all right, cool, we'll do this, we'll do that. There was a girl that was from CT that was in LA, which worked,
Oh,
so we
cool.
called her. We're like, yeah, what up? Come meet up with us. So yeah, we just bounced around Cali. It was my first time in LA, so it was just fire. We just
Perfect.
shot it, and then it just came out dope. The other scenes though, we actually shot in Connecticut with like the dancers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We knew we wanted some type of dancing element to it, so
It's a vibey song. Like
yeah,
that.
so we did that part in Connecticut where like the dancers are on the beach and stuff. That's
Mhm.
actually in West Haven Beach.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
The more you know, man.
yeah. See,
Then-
like, yeah, a lot of people never
Yeah,
would never
yeah.
know.
You're never gonna think that, especially if the rest is in Cali. They just
The way
you know,
exactly, just
you
kind of
just tied it in.
yeah.
Going into snow songs too. You did 04, Flex Lon Don, and then Freak Like Me.
Yeah. Flexlon Don was like some, obviously I was cool with Snow
Mhm.
before Yank came out. So Yank dropped. I'm like, oh shit, this is fire. Like,
Yeah.
and so she was just like, yo, I'm trying to keep the momentum going. Like, let's just shoot something. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So it was like right around 4th of July, and my boy had like a dope pool, and so we were just like, she was like, yo, I want to do like I Get Around, Tupac. I don't know if you ever seen that video,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we were just both like, yo, we just want to call up as many girls as we can and just like throw, a little pool party, but like no dudes, just all
Okay.
girls, like all girls. And so we just started like, just getting on the phones, and that came
That
out.
rose,
That
yeah.
was another one where we just kind of like freestyled it. I just was just like,
Just party
we'll just
and
get the
we'll shoot
vibe,
it,
yeah,
yeah.
people cooking, people jumping in the pool, girls, we can't go wrong. So
Yeah.
that one, like a lot of people fucked with that one. Freak Like Me was a little more planned out. She had got signed at that point, so I was able to kind of like talk to the label and do some things with them. So we were able to like we got a nice location with the house. We got some girls, they're all CT girls. We got some lighting. I had a little crew, and
Yeah.
we were able to kind of like
Put
finesse it
everything
a little
together.
more. Yeah.
That's dope. All right, now how about Rob Markman? You did Ben's for My B-Day, I Don't Want to Wait, and Believe Me. Which was your favorite out of the 3 that you shot?
Probably the first one. I think the first one was my favorite one because, truth be told, I didn't really know too much about Rob. Like I knew, obviously I was seeing a couple of his interviews, but like I didn't realize how like really stamped in he was like into
Yeah.
the game and the culture, like
With MTV and
just,
then going to
yeah,
Genius.
he just was he's in there, you know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
like a pillar type thing. So Smoke actually linked me with Hovain, who's Rob's manager.
Yep.
And Hovain was telling me like, I got, Rob's gonna do a video. And when he said it, I was thinking like maybe like he wanted me to film an interview.
Yeah.
And then like he sent me the song. I'm like, wait, because at this time nobody knew Rob rapped.
This was before Right to Dream?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah. So he sent me the song, and I'm like, wait, this is Rob? And he's like, yeah, haha, like and I was like, he's like, yeah, don't show anybody that. Like nobody knows Rob raps. Like we couldn't put up no BTS stuff for the video because it was kind of like a reveal. So it was cool because like Rob ended up being cool as shit, and like
He's a really cool man.
yeah, and like he, we did a song. He liked my music, so he was linking me with some stuff. I linked him with some people, some producers and stuff.
Mhm.
Actually linked him and Rich.
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
he did a lot of stuff. That's how I first heard of Rich I Am.
Yeah, so like they linked on set of one of the videos.
That's so cool.
But yeah, Rob just ended up being mad cool, and then he just started showing mad love to CT.
So much love.
Yeah,
man.
which was fire. I was just like, damn, that's crazy. Yeah, it was fun shooting those videos. We just they were pretty. I don't think anything too crazy necessarily like went down on those. Those all went pretty somewhat smooth. They were pretty low though. Like he wasn't trying to do nothing too crazy,
Yeah.
you know. You just think you just want to get a good solid visual to
He
his
had
shit.
good songs anyway. It's not
Yeah.
like he had to prove a point with
Ye-
anything else.
Right. And so we got that church. The church was fire that we got for that one video. Yeah, it was good. It was good good smooth experiences.
Cool, man. And then we got this big one, the GG by Youngboy NB, Never Broke Again with A Boogie. How
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, that was crazy. That happened. Actually, I shot Meek Mill's album release, The Wins and Losses, and I turned the video around back to them in like, I want to say maybe like 8 hours. You know,
Yeah.
like they got it, and like the you know the Carlene who had booked me for it, she was like the person who throws the parties through the
Yeah.
label. So she was like, damn, this is sick. And she, you know, I was like, can we post it? And she was like, yeah. So I posted it. And then, you know, during the shoot, I met people from Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
And so they followed me on Instagram or whatever. And the dude from Atlantic hit me and he's like, yo, we didn't even like upload our footage yet into the computer. He's like, can we just use your edit and we'll tag you and we'll post it up on Atlantic's page? I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And from there, they hit me like a week later, and they're like, "Yo," Ray hit me. He's like, "Yo, look at the email." Like he's like, "Just look at the email," and I was like, "Why? What's up?" And I looked at it, and it was like, "Yo, you know, we got this video with A Boogie and NBA YoungBoy. We want you to, you know, shoot it." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, cool." And that was, you know, that was just dope. That like kind of got me a lot started in the industry, and that built my relationship a lot with Atlantic Records. Which is cool. They hit me up for stuff. They had me with Pusha. I shot something for him, which was cool. Big. Yeah, so it was that actually was like a extremely crazy shoot though. Like the way the day went. One location, something happened at one of the locations. I can't really, but yeah, something happened where we basically had to like, we couldn't use the location anymore. We had to go to this other location on the fly and like shoot, and like A Boogie, he got there, then he like needed a shirt, he needed food, and like by the time we actually started shooting, like his management and stuff was like, yo, you got like 10 minutes to get this. You got 10, like, you know, they're like in my ear. I'm like, all right, well, can I shoot it at least? Yeah. Like, and so, you know, they're like on me. And then when he saw the footage, he was like, oh no, this is fire. He's like, no, let's get a couple other ones. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So he ended up being mad cool, and like, so we shot and like, yeah, just ended up like linking with all them and yeah, like his people hit me time to time for stuff. So this is cool, man. It's just cool to like, from Connecticut, you know, you don't really get to like interact with, you know, people like that a lot. So for me to like be where I'm at now, where it's like I'm like cool with these people and working like, you know, in the industry, it's dope.
It's big for a CT kid.
Yeah, it's just dope because you don't see a lot of, you know, you see one or two, but
yeah, exactly. How about Stally? You had Serpent's Whisper and Holy Quran. Which was your favorite?
We had another one too. Oh, Turtle Van. Yeah, we did another one with him. Yeah, that was the first one we did. His videos were actually all kind of crazy too. What I think Holy Quran was probably like, I think that might be my favorite one. I don't know. Turtle Van is pretty sick too. I mean, they're all dope. Turtle Van was just brick, yo. Like so cold. Like it was funny because I was like, damn, like I wanted it to look cold, so we were trying to figure out a way to like get smoke to come out of his breath, and like it was just so cold that
you didn't even need to wear it.
You could just see it, and like so we had to like shoot, and then the models would like run into this like it was like a little garage that was next to this bar, so like the models would like shoot the scene, and then they would run into this bar and be like, oh, okay, all right, we're ready, all right, cool, because it was like, yo, literally what, it had to be like 18 degrees, something ridiculous. Like if I would do one scene, like my hands would be numb by the end of the scene.
Oh no.
And then Holy Quran.
Gloves?
Nah, I always forget gloves. Holy Quran was kind of the same thing. I wanted a cave. That was like my vision. I'm like, yo, I see this like I see the Quran floating in this cave. And so Ray's like, where the hell are we gonna find a cave? And I'm like, you got this. and so we like we you know, we found where there was a cave, but like it was in this like park, this like state park, so they don't necessarily give you directions to it. So we're just like, it was winter, all the trails were just ice. So, you know, Stally was a trooper because he could have really just been like, yo, fuck this, let's just go somewhere else, you know what I mean? So we're just, we got the gear, and he's all fresh, you know what I mean? Like, and he's like, so he's trying to like walk and not slip. And so we don't know where this cave is. We're just like walking with the hopes to just
Find it.
find it. Yeah. And it's like this huge park. And so I think was finally like, all right, look, because we were walking for like a good, mile, and we're just like, we're seeing shit. But I'm like, oh man, how the hell? So I think I was like, yo, post up here. I'm just gonna like truck it ahead, like, you know what I mean? And I kind of like just went far into the woods, and finally I ended up on top of this like big ass like rock, and then I'm like looking down, and I fall, of course, like I'm like, so, but then like I fall and like I look and like I see it, so I'm like, yeah, so I'm like, okay, so now I'm like trying to retrack, where I went. I go grab them. Yeah. And so then it was funny because we all get there and we're like, all right, sick. I'm like, I don't really want to walk in that shit, to be honest. Like, it's kind of scary. Like, it's just a cave with just pitch black. Like, I don't know if there's a bear in there. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I think Ray went first.
Going back to the cave.
Yeah. So we ended up, going in. we found out there was no bears in there, and we shot it, and it was brick. It was the same thing. It was cold as hell. But that video ended up fire. That's like one of my. I like that video a lot.
That's dope, man.
Stalley was dope too. We shot the other one down in Atlanta. He's
a
down.
little bit warmer.
yeah. I was like, yo, let's do this one in Atlanta, man. And so it was cool. We shot it down there, and that's my guy. I did a song with him and stuff. He showed mad love.
Yeah, bro. And then there's the Rick Ross song Triple Platinum.
Yeah.
Not out yet, but
yeah, no, it's out. It's out.
It's
yeah.
out?
It came out. It was on his oh man, what was the name of that album? Do you remember? It was his last the album with Santorini and all that. I forgot what it's called, but either way, the
Rather You Than Me.
Rather You Than Me, yeah, fire album too. Yeah, so I had like a somebody that plugged me with MMG just to be like, hey, if you guys need shit, especially in the if you're in New York, like hit my guy, hit my boy. And so I get a call, from them, and they were like, yo, can you come to New York right now? The guy that called me, shout out to Sav. He doesn't work with them anymore. But he hit me and he's like, yo, can you come to New York now? I'm with Ross. At the time, he was the VP of MMG.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, sure. And so that was like what I was saying before. Like, if I had a job, it's difficult to be able to. A lot of these people, that's how they move. Like, yo, can you do it now? Like, and it's like you got to be able to just kind of like make a move. So
pick up your bag and go.
We just busted a move straight to the city, and like we met. Like Ross and his kind of like inner circle of the label and everything. He had this like fly ass hotel room in the city, and I just walked in there with my backpack. Like, he was like, "Oh, bring a backpack with a computer and a hard drive." So I'm like, "All right." So I came there though, like with like lighting, camera, like I had everything in the car. Like, I was like, just in case, you know what I mean? And so so I went in there, and like it was just like, all right, like. It was just Ross, smoking, whatever. We chopped it up. I probably sat in there for like 45 minutes to an hour. And he was telling me, he's like, yo, I got this. He's like, we shot this video in the Bahamas, but like, it's not that great. Like the video, we just shot for so long. We got a bunch of footage. So I'm like, all right, give it to me. I'll take a look at it. And so, but then he was just telling me like, oh, what do you do? I got to chop it up.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we're just looking for people that. I'm like, yo, I got all my shit in the car right now. I was like, we would shoot a video right now if you want. Like, I'll shoot it. And he was like, I like that. So we
good that you prepared.
Yeah. I was like, I'm ready. We're gonna shoot something tonight. How long you here? And then so I uploaded all the footage, and I took the shit back, and it was awful. It was just like they just hired some random dude, and it was just so much footage. Like, it was like. Just
you had to sift through a lot.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to like go through it. And like I got it done in like 4 days. And like I sent them an edit back, and I was just like, didn't hear anything. I'm like, oh man. And then I get a call from like just an unknown number. He's like, yo, what up? It was Ross. So I'm like, he didn't know that, but it was actually on my birthday that he called me.
Yeah.
And so it was in April. And so he was like, so he's like, yo, you fucking killed it. Like, that was what we needed. Like, we can't wait to work with you more. Definitely gonna, build with you, just give me your info. Boom, we're gonna, so, and then like, they put it out, and like, they just been showing me mad love ever since. Like, I got to shoot with Wale, with Meek, with Skrilla, who's another artist on MMG, Stalley. So it was just, it was dope, man. It was dope to just see somebody that big, validate you and be like, you're dope. So it was like, that was, you like to see little, stages like that, because that kind of like made me even level up inside. Like, all right, fuck it. If Rick Ross thinks I'm dope, like,
Then I am.
I
Dope.
gotta be dope. Like, you know what I mean? He's not, obviously I did it for him for free. So obviously he's not gonna like tear it apart. So I understood that. But at the same time, he could have just been like, it wasn't, we're just gonna scrap it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it wasn't like they invested all this crazy money into it either.
Mm-hmm.
In retrospect, though, what I ended up finding out from them, like, months later, was that they actually tried to give it to like multiple people, and they were just like, nah, I'm not doing
this. And they
this.
scrapped all the other people's stuff?
No, they were just like, nah, I'm not doing this. Like,
oh, really?
I'm not looking through all this footage. Like, I can't do nothing with this. You know what I mean? I was just so hungry at the time that I was like, I'll figure a way out.
Fuck it,
So,
I'll
like,
do it.
Yeah, like, I'll figure a way to make this shit dope. And so it was cool. It just helped me get in with them, and it just built great relationships, kind of just with, the people that work with them as well, and just helped me to get my, just another kind of step into everything.
That's dope, man. And then let's talk about A Pusher's Dream. This was Hell's Angels and I Used To with Dave East and Aldo. It was like
that was still weird. That was in the trenches at that time. Like, I still just had the 5D at that time. I met Aldo through Dizza.
Yep.
But I met Dave East through Scram Jones.
I've heard that name.
He's a producer, artist, a DJ, super dope.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, like Grammy nominated, like just fire. He's my homie. He introduced me to Dizza. So Scram was like the first person. Him and Static Selecta were like the first people that really like started like fucking with me, or just like
gave you a chance.
Yeah, just gave me a chance, And so I met East through him like way back in like 2000, probably 14. I met Dave East, and so I just like, he's dope. And so when I met this dude Aldo, he was like really good friends with East. They had this project, so I knew both of them, so they were like, yeah, fuck it, you might as well shoot it. And it was just crazy, man, like crazy times, like no budgets, just running around the projects in the Bronx at like 2 a.m. I'm like, yo, like
at least I'm with the right people.
We gotta like, yeah, it was just like still, no matter who you're with in those type of situations. But it was crazy. Like, I want to say the one night we were there though, like Corey Guns like came through like on a skateboard.
Wow.
Like, he just pulled up. We were in the projects at like 3 a.m. Corey Guns came. There was like a couple other artists. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? It was cool. Like, East is my guy, man. It was a crazy experience just shooting that, because like I said, I mean, I'm from Connecticut, so being in Bronxdale or Monroe projects in the Bronx, like it was just like, whoa, like I got camera shit on me, I'm obviously sticking out like crazy, but it was just all love, so it was cool. Like, we were just. Yeah, it was just at the time, you don't think about shit when you're in it. You're just doing it, like.
But retrospectively,
I was like, whoa, okay, that was a little sketchy, but nah, it was just mad fun. It was just just times that kind of built me as a director, and just like you're just doing shit on the fly, and you're just trying to like it's just me and a tripod and a camera, But it's just definitely times in my career that like made me
who you are now.
Yeah, for sure. That was like a big, like at the time, like I was just like, yo, this is everything. Like, that was the project, you know what I mean? So it was cool. It was a good time, and it like helped solidify shit with East with me.
Wow, man. And then the last videos we're going to talk about is the 2 Disney ones. You got one, Just Wanna Go by Rayla, and then Digital Love by Meg Donnelly.
Yeah, that was that's funny too, because like Scram, he linked me with this guy Ali, who has a company called The Practice, and they do a lot of the music shit for Disney. And I was shooting a bunch like for years for this guy Ali, and a Disney opportunity came about where he's like, yo, I want you to direct it, So, and I did some shit for Meg, and then
that was Smile that you did.
Yeah, and then Digital Love was like through Disney. Like, we shot at their facilities. I used their crew for some of it, and then my crew for some of it. But like, I was dealing directly with everybody in their building, so it just like, it was just a crazy another level of shooting, because it's like you gotta pull permits for every location you use. You gotta, you can't show logos and anything. You gotta follow all their standards and practices of like, it's Disney Channel, so I'm a rap hip hop director, so to me the more edgy the better. To this, it was like,
you gotta be safe.
Yeah, and so but they wanted me to like add my sauce to it. That was the whole reason they brought me on, because like we want your like your swag on it, but like you just gotta kind of do it within our guidelines, So, yeah, like I was saying, it's just crazy because we're on the streets of LA. It was just a surreal, experience because it was like, think about how many people Disney could have called to direct a video with a big budget in LA. Like that's where everything happens. But they called a kid from Connecticut, to like come out there. So I was just like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Puts it into perspective.
Yeah, so it was like I said, I mean, 20 extras, Disney's got their staff there, Meg's management is there, my whole crew. I had an 8-person crew. So it was just a lot of different. We're on the streets of LA. We're moving around locations, so it was just a very different level of like shooting,
And you were coordinating the whole thing.
Yeah, you're right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's when you really, that's when a lot of people say they're a director, but it's like, that's when you really have to be a director because everybody's like, all right, cool, what are we doing? And all these people are just looking at you and you can't be like, I think we should, it's like, you got to be like, all right.
This is what we're doing.
You do, and you got to really be on your shit or else people are going to be like, you don't want the leader of the ship, kind of looking like he doesn't know what the hell is going on. So, that's, that's really when, honing a director. It's different to be a shooter, but to really be able to direct, you have to be able to like interact with the artist and know how to talk to them. You got to know how to speak to their people. You got to know how to control the crew and and kind of things always have to be running. You know what I mean? You always have to have things moving. So that really put me, to the test, like in that regard, for sure.
What advice would you give to some young filmer coming out of school right now, or not even out of school, but just like, just got a camera and they want to do this?
Yeah. I mean, really make sure you want to do it. That's the first thing. Like I guess it really depends on what route you're trying to go. Like for me, I know I wanted to own a production company, and then I know I'm a director, but technically I direct, DP, and edit. Like I can do all of them, but director is more my thing. But it depends on what you want to do. Like if you want to be a DP, or if you want to be a camera operator, if you want to be a lighting guy, if you want to be a producer, whatever. Like so, in the beginning, I guess you don't really know. You just fucking around with a camera. I think the biggest advice is you have to figure out a way, if you want to do it, full time. The truth is you have to figure out a way to make money off of it. But you want to try as much as you can to like not focus on the money. You want to try to focus on working with, if it's music videos, you want to try to focus on working with the dopest, like biggest artists that you can, or the artists that you really, believe in, and then making like just the craziest possible shit you can, is like the biggest advice. Cause like we're in a creative game, you know what I mean? So like, you have people that are doing just crazy shit. So what's going to make you stand out, from the next man's thing? And then like where I'm at now, it gets harder because now it's like, okay, I'd like to consider myself probably like, the biggest person in Connecticut for video, but like now I'm competing with New York, LA. So I have to do the same thing. I have to sit in the drawing room and be like, all right, is this treatment, or this idea, is this going to be some, I had to do something that's going to shock people
globally.
Yeah, in those markets, and like make them be like, oh, damn, this dude is fire. So as a new person, you want to experiment, you want to have fun with the shit, and you just want to like do the best, dopest possible things and do good business too, like that's a big part of it, you want to be passionate about it so you're not so concerned. Like I see a lot of directors, they get caught up on like, nah, I want to get 500 for this video, but it's like maybe that artist, they only got 200, but it might get 100,000 views, so it's worth it for both of you. Like, you know what I mean? Don't get so caught up on like that small money in the beginning, because you have to work towards eventually you'll get
it's
bag.
Not just money. Yeah, exactly. It's the bag, whatever the bag consists of.
And you just got to know when. You got to just know how to move. There's certain times where it's your time to be like, boom, I want this. And like you want, your money. But there's certain times where even now I still work with artists that I fuck with them. So I'm not so concerned with how much money do you have. Because I know you're doing something. You got a following. People fuck with you. I like your music. I want to see, you get a dope visual. So I'm going to, I'll work with you, so... that'd be my biggest advice. And, something they always told me in school too is like, if you really want to do a certain thing, you should do that. So it's like, if you want to DP, don't try to go get jobs as like a PA or a grip or this or that. Try to DP your own projects to show people that you can DP, or try to, stay in that so you can show people like, this is what I do. You know what I mean? And then that's how you'll get hired.
Okay.
As that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely try to, so you can perfect it and you can see what it takes to do that on your, on your own. So
that's awesome advice, man. Who else would you like to work with? I saw that you have a shoot with Seikura and Smile, Little Crybaby coming out soon. Any other artists?
yeah, did that. Getting to work with Dose. Well, like CT, like working with Dose is gonna be cool. I haven't worked with him yet. CT, man, I pretty much work with like all the, the main people that I had in my head. Like, all right, I want to work with these people. Other like outside of that though, like, I want to work with the biggest possible people I can. Like I definitely want to shoot something official. Again for A Boogie. I want to shoot for Post Malone. Would be cool. There's a lot. I mean, I'd like to shoot. I mean, Bad Bunny. I would love to do something for like.
He's been killing it.
Yeah, for something like that. I mean, the biggest I can really go with it. I feel like I can shoot for anybody. So Drake, like, I mean, if the opportunity is there and it's, like I'm down. But Travis, those videos though, like, those videos make me want to just like quit, man. Like Travis, every time he drops a video, every time I go to click on it, I'm like, oh fuck, nuts. Here we go. Like, this shit's gonna make me depressed for a day or two. I hit Ray, I'm like, oh, here, watch this shit. But yeah, like, all the top dogs, man. Like those are all people I would wanna. I've done a lot, and like a lot of that a lot of people don't even know. Just a lot of underground. Like I've worked with a bunch of artists, New York, LA, like a bunch. But now I'm really at the point where I want to like work with like the A-lists, the top people to really show, because I feel like that's where my skill is at right now. So I want to. The only way people really clicks for people is when they see it on an A-list video, so that's where I'm at with it.
You already worked with Ross, like
like I'd love to, Ty Dolla Sign's another one. He's super fire. Like I'd love to shoot something for him. All the main, all the big
you can get your hands on.
Yeah, like there's obviously. I don't want to just work with anybody, but it does. Being a director, it allows me to kind of like, I don't necessarily have to like. The music might not be for me, but like I can still see the vision and like be able to direct it, So, yeah, man, the biggest artist I can get with that's dope, I'm down.
That's awesome. So going back to CT, can you talk about the state of the culture in Connecticut from compared to 5 years ago to where it is now and where it's going to be in 2020? Since you've been doing music since you said 2013, 2016, all that.
Yeah. I mean the state of it's now is probably the best. I mean, from my personal view that that I've ever seen it. I think it's lit right now. As far as like, if you're a part of it now, you're a part of something that's gonna be a lot bigger. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of shit brewing. It might not be necessarily like on a national level yet, but like it's gonna be like very, very soon. So it's dope right now because now's the fun time, because it's like now's all the times that we're going to be talking about when everybody is like, years, you know what I mean? So now's the time when it's like, it's dope to be a part of it. But, compared to, it's funny because when I first moved back, I didn't really know what was going on in the scene. You know what I mean? Like I had moved back. I was just trying to more get my shit together, and I kind of had more plugs in New York. So I directly went to New York. That was like my biggest motivation for moving back to Connecticut. Was like, I'll be close to NY, so I can just like go, so I immediately went and started messing with Scram and Static, and that was like Smoke. And then, so I was in Connecticut, but like for the first, I want to say, probably up until like 2016, like I wasn't really working with people from Connecticut. Not that I didn't want to, but I was just like so focused on like being in New York and like just like, just trying to do shit that was where I built my like base. And then I think like 2016 when I started dropping music, people were kind of like, oh damn. And then and then like I want to say that when I did like the Annoyed and the Webby videos, that was when people in Connecticut were really like, oh, okay, damn, this is this is who this is. Like we had heard about him, but now we know.
Yeah.
And in 2020, I think shit is gonna be lit, man. All we need is that one. We've had artists now break through, like Annoyed or Snow. Obviously, Webby's been doing this thing. You got Felly. So those dudes are already in, but they're not like nobody's really done that, like where it was like when Chief Keef came out and it was
Yeah.
like I don't like, and it's like, oh shit, this is what Chicago is about. And then there was a whole bunch of other artists that you got put onto. So we just waiting on that moment, man. From where it's gonna come, I have no idea, but I know it's gonna be somebody that I'm fucking with for sure. I would
Yeah.
think, you know what I mean? Just there's probably a good dozen artists right now that have a good shot at like
They're on the verge. Right?
yeah. So which is fire, which is super cool.
It's so cool to see. That's awesome. So going into our next section, we got discography details. Just anything that comes to mind when you hear the name of the song. What about Breakthrough?
Breakthrough was fire. That was a good.
That was my first glance at your music.
Oh.
How about One of a Kind? This was a dope music video concept too.
Yeah, One of a Kind was funny because it was like that was like the second to last song that got put on the project.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I had part of it. I laid part of it down, and then I was kind of like, I just laid the like I've been smoking. Like I had just laid that part down, and I was kind of like, I left it alone, and I didn't really know how I felt about it. And then I was in the studio by myself one night, and kind of like came up with the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all in the studio, and before people were just coming in, like Rich and everybody was just coming in to like start a session, and I was playing that song, and everybody was like, "Yo, what is this?" And I was like, "Oh, it's that shit from the other." They were like, "Yo, this is fire." And they're like, "Play it again." And we played it like mad times that night, and I was like, "All right, yeah." So we, that like just slipped on the project, like last thing, and then like once I kind of had it done before the project came out, I usually always would like shoot it to like all my friends and just like people that I know, like, and that one was like the one where people were like, "Yo, this one is fire."
You got a great reception.
Girls especially were like, "Yo, we love this one." So I'm like, "Oh, all right, cool." And then when it came out, it was just like that was the one everybody was talking about. So I was like, "All right, shit, cool, yeah." And the video was just like so many people were sending me videos singing to it.
I was big names singing that.
Yeah, I was like, all right. I mean, we might as well just. Cause I'm still to this day trying to figure out like how do I do my own visuals? Cause like I have my homies that are nice with shooting, but they're on the same time that I'm on. They're busy. They're shooting other people's stuff. Like, so it's kind of hard for me to lock them down. So it's always hard for me to like do my own visuals. And that was like kind of a cheat code for me because I was just like, all right, I'll just use everybody else singing it for the video.
It showed how much people actually fucked with it.
Yeah, and it was cool, just seeing everybody liking it and stuff. And I think it just showed people like, oh, okay, people like this song.
And the
like,
girl at the end, bro.
Yeah. I was like, hey, I always show love to the fans. Like, if anybody takes the time out to like memorize my song and sing it, like, I'm gonna throw it on there. So,
hell yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. I liked how that all came together.
How about Slow Mo featuring Annoyed? That's with JP on the track, right?
Yeah, JP did the beat. I've been wanting to do something. That was another one. Was like me and Annoyed. I knew I wanted to do something. We just kind of figuring the right time to do it. And then I just brought like I brought like maybe 6 or 7 songs through his spot, played them, and he was like yeah, that one. And then he wrote his shit right there, laid it down, bang bang boom, and we was out of there. That was cool. That all came together naturally because at that time I had already shot for him. It was already like the relationship was built, so it was smooth. That one's cool though. That one goes good at shows too.
And my personal favorite, Platinum and Gold featuring Stally and Filio.
That's a sleeper. A lot of people actually do like it, but I feel like that's a sleeper. Like that song
when I
is
first heard that,
fire.
bro, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, Krillum did that beat. He's from Bridgeport. He's super dope. He does like all of not all of, but he does a lot of Was I on Key stuff.
Okay, yeah,
yeah, that was just dope, man. Like, and like at that point too, Stally kind of saw where I was going with it. So right when we did the first video, he was like, "Yo, if you need a verse, just let me know. Like, I got you." So I was like, "All right, cool." And then Krillin, I just had recorded that one, and I was like, "Yeah, I think he'll fuck with this." And yeah, it was funny because when we shot, oh no, we didn't even shoot anything. He just came to New York, and I went and vibed with Stally, but we were just like cruising around New York, like bumping that song. So it was cool. That was cool how that all came together.
Then you got High Resolution featuring Webby. That one's a big one.
Yeah. That one went.
I bet the fans love it.
Yeah, that one goes crazy, and like that's one of my bigger like just songs numbers wise, just because Webby's he showed mad love on like putting it out. He put it out like almost as if it was one of his songs. Like he posted it everywhere and like shouted me out and stuff. So that was super dope. That was the same thing. I was like, yo, Web, we need a song, like,
Yeah.
you know. So I knew already that I wanted him, but then it was the same thing. Like I was like, I got a beat from JP, that's his producer, so it just worked. You know, it was a little easier. For me and Webb, the hardest thing was like figuring out like, all right, what's our like common ground? Because you know we have such different like just views on things and style that I'm like, you know, I don't want it to be a force, you know. So I was either gonna go like college party type route or like stoner route. Yeah, you know what I mean. And that I was already in that vibe. I was listening to mad reggae music, so I was like, yo, JP, make something like, you know, give me some like, you know, reggae type shit. And when he sent it through, I was like, yeah, perfect. I did the verse.
Yeah.
I actually had a hook on it. Another hook on it. And then Webb was like, oh no, I got this other hook. And so I kind of was using that song too as a way to like, you know, bridge the gap more to his fans too. So I was like, you know, if I'm neither here nor there about it. I like both hooks, so I'm like, let's just throw your hook on it because it just your fans are gonna, you know, like it
really
more. Yeah, and it'll just make more sense, you know, like. And so yeah, that's always like I think like the second song we do on tour, and then that's always when I like start smoking and like everybody's so it goes good.
What about 10 Again?
10 Again was my first time working with the Breed.
Yep.
That came together mad, just natural. I had always heard about the Breed, but I never actually met them. And I think I did meet them a couple. Like we knew who each other were, and I want to say we chopped it up and stuff. But that was the first time I like went to their studio and like, you know, really saw how they got down. And I was just kind of like, at the time, like I was like, oh, let's do something right now. Like you know, like they had a beat already pulled up because I was kind of like, I want to do some like, you know, just like some just more vibe type shit. So they already had something kind of like half whipped up, and like they put it on, and I was like, yeah, just loop that, and they ran it, and we did that whole song in like 2-3 hours, and then it was just done. Boom, sent it to me. I was like, yo, cool. I put it out. They're cool because they work fast, like me. And I got a lot of that from them too, of just like not thinking about it too much. You know what I mean?
Bang, bang.
And they're dope because they're like producers. So they'll be like, yo, that flow is hot. Maybe you should start it with that flow. And then like go into the, you know, and they'll kind of like help you with the arrangement and like, you know, use their ear to be like, that melody might be dope for the hook, like that, you know, and then kind of like put it together. So that was like, it was crazy for me to see because how I do is like, I'll go in for the first time and they'll just like play the beat and I'll just like, like, and just kind of like be saying all different melodies and stuff with no words.
Yeah, humming it.
Yeah. And then they were like, okay, this one's dope. And then it was like some mad scientist shit. Like they kind of like, you know, we started like piecing it all together, and then I would put words to it, and it kind of all just like took form. So it was cool. And then now I got a whole EP with them.
Yeah, you got the 3 of the songs: Insomniac, Rest in Peace, and then Waiting on Me.
Yeah.
And Waiting on Me, it looks like it has like the best reception out of them all. You have all the dancing videos. You said it reached Russia, it reached Jamaica.
Yeah, and it's just getting started. Like I just put it out, and you know, obviously we're independent, so it's not like I just, you know, we're doing everything self-funded. So we're just slowly working it with the DJs in Connecticut, and you know, it's just a dance record to me. You know, I just see, you know, when I hear it, I see people dance. So I was like, I just want people dancing to it. So you know, just to see dancers want to dance to it was dope. And
did you tweet it out and ask people to, or did?
Yeah, like well, I started it by like I reached out to like 2 or 3 dancers I knew were dope. I'm like, yo, do you fuck with this? And they're like, yeah. I was like, would you do like a dance video to it? And they're like, yeah. So then it kind of like just, you know, it started snowballing from there. And that's just been my way of working it there. And with the DJs, DJ Michi's been playing it on Hot 93.7,
Shout out Michi,
which is cool. Yeah, shout out Michi.
Awesome.
He be showing mad love. Shout out Santo. He was one of the first people to like fuck with it and be like, yeah, I'm gonna spin this. Yeah, that's cool. It's a different vibe for me too. Like I never put a song out in that realm. Like I was in a little Jamaican club the other night in Bridgeport, and like that shit went off. Like I was like, oh, okay, dope.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so just to see different like crowds and stuff. But I'm actually really excited about Insomniac. I think that's gonna be like one of the craziest like show. That was why we made that one. Like when we were talking about it, we're like,
for the tour.
I want something for the show, you know, and it's just like something that people could chant. So that I'm like super excited to like the videos from that. I know are gonna be crazy. Like I know people are gonna be just like
word for word.
I can't sleep. Like just yelling that shit out. That's gonna be dope.
Sweet, man. So now we're gonna go into the breakthrough bar breakdown for On Delay. We got the first verse. Do you want to listen to it real quick?
Oh yeah. You want me to I just play it on my phone?
Yeah. We ain't live right now, so we don't have to worry. I used to do this shit live, and it was just like always something happening in between.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, she's already down there.
Oh, that's
We're about to go meet her.
Sentence.
Okay.
Do you want to see the lyrics? I got them all pulled up right here.
Nah, I mean, so you want to know what, like, just kind of the where it came from,
Yeah.
or okay?
The whole process of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of one of my like go-to topics because it's just like with just running my business and being an artist and being a director and traveling and just like one of the like elements that I just haven't figured out is like being able to like keep a girlfriend. So it's one of my go-to topics because it's just something that I deal with all the time where it's just like, you know, you're just dealing with women, like, you know, and so, but they're like, most of the times they're mad at me because it's like, I'm not, you know, showing them enough attention or texting them every day or calling them and
But
just,
you're a busy man.
yeah. And so it's just like, you know, stuff like that. So, but the deeper those types of relationships get, it's just like the more toxic shit, you know, that happens. And so it's just like something, it's just part of my life, you know, I just deal, you know, you just gotta kind of deal with it. But yeah, like that verse is just speaking on, it's not about one specific girl. I think it's just speaking on that element of my life where it's like, you know, I'm in the middle of my day doing some shit, and then it's like a girl just decides she want to just go off, you know, and then, detect, and it's just like, it's just one of those moments. But then it's like, it's also, if you listen to the ending of it, it's like also the back and forth of like, yeah, fuck you, da da da. But then it's like, yo, what are you doing tonight? Like, come, you know, and then like I end up, you know, go to get dinner, we'll hang out, and then it's kind of like, all right, we're back on good terms or whatever happens. So it's like, it's always about that. It's like kind of about that, like, yo, leave me alone, like, you know, like I'm busy, but then it's like when shit calms down, like, yo, my bad, what are you doing? You know, and then it's like kind of gotta like start doing damage control and patch shit up, you know. But so I think that song is just more about that. It's just like about that, like, you know, just like communication a lot. Just communication with females, you know, can be a tough thing to juggle.
Miscommunication.
Yeah, miscommunication, correct. Can be a tough thing to juggle, you know, in my kind of line of work, especially from my situation, because it's like I'm not just being an artist, like I'm doing like mad shit. So it's just really hard, you know, in
You're a
that
busy man.
in that
I can
part.
only imagine. All right, so now we're gonna go into futures endeavors. So, what's next, both musically and with your directing?
So the next thing would be the I'm gonna drop an EP with the Breed.
Yep.
And then hit the road with the guys again for the tour, for the Canada tour. And that'll last till about like the summertime, and then kind of my plan is to just keep working, waiting on me. Once we get back in the summer, that's why I wanted to get it going now.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, get it ready for the summer, because the summer is really, that song is meant for, you know what I mean? And then so that's like, you know, in the short term. But then after that, I'm just probably gonna keep working the singles, EPs, you know, like 5-6 tracks type thing. I got music recorded, so I'm just gonna kind of like figure out how I want to put it together. Yeah, and like I still want to record more. I actually just did a joint over a Say track that he produced. That I think will be dope.
Sweet.
Yeah, so and then directing wise, man, it's just right now, I mean, I have a bunch of things in the you know what I mean, in the pipelines, like with huge, like big artists. So
Not much you can talk about, but just know it's on the
yeah,
way.
well, and it's just stuff that I don't know necessarily if it's gonna come through. Cause like what'll happen is like I said, the label will hit me and be like, "Yo, this is the song, this is the budget, this is the artist. You know, give us a treatment." But they might go to 2 directors, you know, or 3 directors. When especially the bigger up you get, unless artist is direct, like, "Yo, I want this dude to direct it," they'll kind of, you know, fill it out. So you know, I have like mad shit out directing wise, you know, just kind of see what kind of comes up. Though the directing should be crazy because you'll just get an email. She'll be like, boom, yo, next week. And then it's like, oh shit, I'm directing a video for Drake. Like, all right, cool. You know, so so that I'm just kind of like, yeah, I just have a bunch of shit out that I'm just waiting on. But I got we're about to do a video with Snow next week. I got a couple more things coming with The Breed.
You said one with K-Dose, right?
Yeah, one with K-Dose. The Spanish artist Melly Mel that I work with, me and her are gonna be locking in again for something. She's really dope. She's like a big artist from Dominican. So yeah. A lot of that is just like, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But we're gonna keep it trucking either way.
That's awesome, man. So where do you see yourself in 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years?
1 year to be probably the biggest music video director in the game, like not just in my state or in my area, like in the game. And to also be, you know, a little more stamped within the just industry and fan base of like me doing this like double lane, you know, thing. So, you know, my own tour, stuff like that. But I don't know about in a year about that, but definitely just more exposure on like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And just really rising to like the top tier when it comes to like video directors. As like far as a, you know, personality, you know what I mean? 5 years would probably be putting on my own tours and then shifting into like doing films. And then 10 years would probably just be like doing movies.
Oh, that's cool.
So
like big budget movies.
Yeah, like I'll still always do music and direct videos, but you know, movies will eventually be, you know, especially once it's like, you know, you start getting older, you know, that's kind of like what I want to move
You're not just gonna
into.
be sitting there doing like just a random.
Yeah, I would still be doing big music videos, but I think I just know I'm the type of person that once I kind of like conquer something, I'm like, all right, what are we doing?
What's
you know,
that?
so I'm already thinking like, all right, what would I do my first movie about? What would it be about? Who would I want to use? So just so it's like kind of like I can start kind of like, you know, when the time comes, I'll know, you know, how to move. So you got to get a script. You got to, you know, there's a whole bunch of shit that goes into making a movie, obviously. Yeah, it's nuts.
And last thing is, do you have any more shout outs before we end the episode?
Nah, because
Everybody
I'm
hates
bad,
you.
yo. I'll
Yeah.
forget. Yeah, like if
Shout
I
out everybody.
yeah,
man.
shout out everybody.
Well,
If I
awesome.
start shouting people out, I'll start forgetting. So
Thank you, man. I appreciate this. This ends season 6, episode 7, and we're done.
yeah.